Hi guys, so I've been writing and recording at home just using software instruments, but the sound sucks. I've just been using a basic drum loop as well, so today I'm going to re-record the drums properly and reamp the guitars and show you how easy it is to reamp stuff. Here we go. Okay, so for this track, I recorded the guitars at home and I've brought them in to reamp them. I was using the software virtual guitar stuff at home, which sounds pretty pants, but it meant I could keep the headphones on and not annoy the neighbours. So back in the studio, I'm using my Peavey 6505 Plus, which is a fantastic amp. This was the combo version and I've stripped it out of the combo just because it was heavy and I never used the speaker, didn't like it. So I've taken that out, and on top of it you'll see this blue reamp box. That means that I can feed an output from the computer that will go into the reamp box and play as if it was guitar level. Chris, you want to hit play on there for a second? That absolute roar of a noise is the cabinet, which is in the other room, and the way to do that is just a really long speaker cable. Not a guitar cable, because guitar cables will fry if you use them instead of a speaker cable, keep that in mind, but it's maybe £20 for a good long speaker cable, and that's what a lot of people do, just put the speaker in another room and keep the head with you, because then you've got full control with all the knobs right there. You can hear them through the speakers, but not through the original speaker. You can hear them through the microphones, and you can go, it sounded good in the room, but now in context, not so good, tweak, done. So next bit, now that the sound is coming out of the speakers, we have to mic them up. So let's go to that, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here we are in the live room. As you can already hear from my voice, even with the mic, it's much more echoey in here than it is in the control room. That's very much on purpose to give the whole thing a slightly more, well, live feel, hence, well, partly hence the name. So I'm using a Zilla 2x12 cab. I honestly think that a lot of kind of modern rock and metal, there's no need anymore for a 4x12. You're kind of kidding yourself if you're lugging about all that weight, because most 100-watt heads, which is generally the loudest they'll go. The reason that 4x12s existed in the first place is that each speaker could handle 25 watts, no more. So you needed 4 of them so it didn't go poof. But this little thing will handle 120 watts without breaking a sweat. It also means it's less weight, and there are less speakers to fight with each other. Now, onwards to miking. This one's got a vintage 30 speaker in the left, kind of standard rock fare, and a heavy cream back in the right, which is really good for bluesy type stuff, or for mixing in an extra flavour. I usually use the vintage 30, and that's what we're going to go with today. Now, the first mic I'm going to use, because I'm going to use 2, is a Shure SM57. If you've not seen one of these before, go and do some research, because every guitar player, every sound engineer has had one of these at some point in their careers, if not has 10 of them. They're very versatile, they do a great job. For me, on their own, don't usually like them, but they form a great backbone of a tone. So this is no ordinary 57. This has had its transformer removed. It's called the Tape-Op mod. Have a look for it on YouTube and you'll find out that it can make the sound even better. Okay, so all I do with my 57 is use my trusty torch. Now this torch has saved my bacon on a few occasions, because what you can do is shine it right through the grill and you can look for the cone and drop the mic while you're at it. So if you can see the cone, a good starting place is if you're looking at the middle of the speaker to be right on at the side of the cap. So look inside, find that, aim straight onto it, and then go and press play with your guitar and see how it sounds for you. Okay, so the 57 on its own sounds a little bit dull and a little bit kind of woolly to me. It sounds like kind of early 80s, which, funnily enough, this is what everyone was using in the early 80s. So what I use as my secondary mic is an Audix i5. Now this thing is an absolute gem. I didn't know about these until I saw Joey Sturgis using these, and I just kind of instantly heard them and went, ooh! So on its own, again, I find this mic's just a little too bright and a little bit too ear-piercingly, but blended in with the 57, we're on to a winner. So again, I start and usually end up sticking with the very same place on the cap for the 57 as I do for the i5. Now they can't physically be in the same place at the same time, so I just kind of look using my torch around the cap to the other side of the cap, and then have this one pointing dead on, so that they're essentially in the same place on the speaker but opposite sides. And then I go back and press play and see how it sounds. Now you may find that with the two mics running at the same time, it doesn't sound right. It might sound thin, hollow. That's not necessarily the fault of the microphones. That's probably because they're out of phase. Now, phase isn't just in or out. Yes, there's a switch for in and out, but usually it's a time delay. In this case, the sound coming from the speaker, if there's two microphones, hits one, then the other. Now if you think about it on a tiny little microscope scale, they're not like this, they're more like way apart from each other. So what you have to do is just, once you're happy with where each mic is, you have to compromise just a little and just move one of them and nominate one to move and one to stay still, otherwise you'll really get confused. And just move one of them, maybe half an inch back or half an inch forward, and try again. And then see if suddenly everything sounds right. You can zoom right into the waveform to see if they absolutely match up, but you don't necessarily have to be perfectly in phase to get the sound you're after. So just keep trying until you listen to the speakers, you listen to the mics, and you go, yes, that's it. And then if you're reamping, you just hit play back and record, sit back for 5 minutes, and boom! Something that is worth noting with phase issues is that you can record if using a digital system, use the waveforms, and kind of record a little bit and zoom right in and see if everything matches up, but that can be difficult because the microphones have completely different kind of bass responses and frequency responses, and they're in different places, and the waveforms won't really look that much like each other, which can make it very difficult to find common ground to make sure they're in phase. It's still technically possible, but if you think about it, a lot of the guys who do analog recording and record straight to tape, they don't have that luxury, and yet they can still make guitars sound great. So just use your ears and trial and error, and you'll probably find that it's much easier and less stress on you, because getting things 1 or 2 degrees in and out of phase doesn't really matter as long as it sounds great. If something doesn't sound right, you'll know. Okay, so I suppose the brief kind of overview takeaway from this is that it's okay to record at home with, say, virtual instruments or some sort of virtual software, virtual guitar amps, as long as kind of the intention is just to use that as a basic kind of sonic guide. Use that kind of as if you were going to use the real amps, and then afterwards take the raw audio and reamp it the way that I've done, and then it will be as if you were playing through this fantastic gear all the time, except without you having to make lots of noise at home and upset people. So if you've liked the video, click the like button. Please subscribe, because we'll be coming out with a lot more material that's hopefully useful to you. We have an Ask FM, Hot Pole Studios, so if you find that, feel free to ask me anything. You've found us on YouTube, but find us on Twitter as well. That's Adam C. Steele. And also check out our website, hotpolestudios.co.uk. If you're from England, give us a call. Our number's on our website, or send me an email straight away to adam@hotpolestudios.co.uk. Follow us on Twitter, and thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.